When we talk about meaning and purpose, the conversation always includes heroes. "You are my hero," she said. "Why do you say that?" I asked. To which she replied, "You saved me from myself." And again, I thought in my heart the word privileged. Privileged to be doing what I do, privileged to be present, privileged to be in partnership with other human beings on the path, finding the golden thread. So we chart our ways. We have ever since we were small. We have ever since we were humans. We would use the celestial heavens. We would use landmarks of mountains or rivers, deserts, horizons. It's how we found our way. And one of the most important ways that we do find our way is we have heroes. Our heroes challenge us, encourage us, support us, and let us find our way. Heroes are our way showers. They point the way that we want to go. We see in them, identify in them intuitively and cognitively, I want to be like that. It gives us a compass to help find true north. This is not something to be afraid of. Some people may accuse you of not being your own person when you say you have a hero. Don't be afraid of that. We need heroes. They can be a compass to us at a point in time in our lives along the path of the golden thread. We take from them ideas, thoughts, behaviors, philosophies, spiritual ways to guide us. Sometimes we take them on for our own, and they become uniquely our own. But for a while, early on, we follow the hero. They also show us not only the way, but they tell us what the cost is of being a hero, what it will take from you, and what it will give you, just so that you know. So in these conversations of meaning and purpose, when we speak of a hero, most of the time people speak of a person, but it's not always that way. A two-legged, a four-legged relationship, plants, nature itself, the Grand Canyon, the Swiss Alps, places where they are moved immeasurably, internally, spiritually, and inspired. When we are inspired, what transpires is from the hero to the follower. So how is it this good medicine works? Sometimes a hero saves us from ourselves. We're so lost, can't find our way, don't know who we are. And somehow in our relationship with them, we find a sense of direction and hope, admiration. We begin to feel the true north growing inside of us. Sometimes they save us from ourselves when we're in the throes of compulsions and addictions. And without them, we would not have lived. Sometimes they save us. Heroes inspire us. That seems to be a given. And what is the result? We aspire to something greater within ourselves. But first, they're our example. We watch them, follow them, spend time with them. We read about them, photograph them, remember them. We tell stories of them. They are our example, our ways of beginning to find ourselves. Remain flexible when you think of what a hero is to you. Remember the story of the house of one room with 3 chairs, a pet and a plant. Pets and plants, the nature of life itself can be a hero to us. Many lives have been saved during an awe-inspiring sighting of an eagle flying. Many lives have been saved late at night when alone, except for that pet curled up beside you. And you decided to live instead of to die. They've saved many lives. So we use a rich definition of heroes, broad enough and big enough to hold our dreams. One of the heartfelt reasons we find heroes is that they remind us that we are not alone. They tell their stories of who their heroes were and are. And in the storytelling, we step into a stream of consciousness far beyond ourselves that reminds us, again, we are not alone. Our heroes remind us that before us, before them, is a long line of people who came before, that made it possible for our hero to even appear, that makes it possible now for us to not only follow a hero, but perhaps to become one. There is a poet by the name of Mary Tall Mountain who came from the northernmost parts of the Arctic Circle and was torn from her family at an early age and brought to a school in the United States, not unlike what has happened to many tribal members throughout our history. She wrote of her experience of recalling about her grandmother and the conversation she would have with her grandmother, even when apart, and how this inspired her, was her hero, and gave her hope. Here is what she wrote. I see you sitting, implanted by roots, coiled deep from your thighs. Roots flesh red, centuries pale. Hair springs wound tight through fertile landscapes where each layer feeds the next into depths immutable. Though you must rise, must move large and slow when it is time, oh, my gnarled mother vine, ancient as vanished ages, your spirit remains, nourishing, nourishing me. Our heroes nourish us. Sometimes they bring us back from the dead. Sometimes they save us from ourselves. And sometimes they show us the new life that can be ours. And they also share what it is, what it costs to be a hero. And the first thing they will remind us is, there is no immunity. There is no immunity from danger. There is no immunity from risk. There is no immunity from hardship. There is no immunity from tiredness. There is no immunity from transcendent experiences and mystical places. There is no immunity from the wonders of life. There is no immunity, only partnership. They also tell us we must give up all hope of being liked by everyone. That not everyone will ever like us. Some will and some won't. But we must give up all hope that everyone will. They remind us that we must bear with the question that others ask us when they say, do you do any one thing really well? No, because we're dreamers. We do many things well. We have heroes, and they have inspired us to aspire to the richness of life that means we do many things well. even in the presence of no immunity. You must also relinquish your investment in looking good. Being a hero is not about looking good. If you have family, you will suffer. Our heroes remind us, if we have family, we will suffer. We will be away from them at times, perhaps when the children are small and we must be away. We will suffer not being with them and they with us. But they remind us that perhaps many years from now, that child grown into adulthood will reflect and be grateful for being part of this family. That means not only may they come to be grateful to be part of this family, but that you have become their hero. As a child, they may have hated when you were gone, been angry and refused to speak with you, and you felt the pangs of that as a hero. Now you know the blessing when they tell you, you saved me from myself, you're my hero, I've always looked up to you. And we know all is well, even with no immunity, for the hero. And you must be willing to be surprised over and over and over again. Surprised by the golden thread that runs through experiences that sometimes you cannot see or find until years later when you tug at it in your memory and looking back, see the immense treasure that you've been carrying. You must be willing to be surprised over and over again, and this will humble you. And being humbled, you will become very, very wise. So, you may say to yourself, if I'm willing to accept all of these, then what is it I must do to equip myself to be this hero? You must be willing, as the poet says, to walk around like a leaf, ready to tumble at any moment. Then and only then, decide what you do with your time. For the rest of it, relax. The journey itself will equip you. It will give you all that you need. Just walk around like a leaf and pay attention. You will be given everything you need. The journey itself will equip you. And so this is the wonder of having heroes, that while we have admired their character qualities, while we have taken them upon for ourselves, and the journey equips us for all that lies ahead, we take them on for our own and make them uniquely our own. And we become the hero. The qualities of the hero have found a new home. And it is us. And we are not alone.